I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of not the performance in the way I boxed and stuff. There was a lot of mistakes made, but I'm proud of the heart I showed, the respect I gave the belt. The British belt brings out a lot in people, and there was a lot of massive fights for that belt before me.
Yeah, well, if it happens, yeah. Bring it on.
Daniel got dropped in the first round, and I said, he's winning the fight. Everybody around me looked at me like, what? I'm like, he's winning the fight. And then guess what he did? He fucking fight. He just bit bodies, gumshoe, and carried on.
What about that first knockdown? What did he do with Fabio Wardley?
Fabio was not ready for boxing. He was no jab, nothing, looking for power shots. It's like he didn't train. He was busy commentating. Little bastard. He was supposed to fucking train in the gym. Dude, how many jabs did Fabio chuck? Less jabs. He didn't chuck no jabs. He didn't do anything we've seen before. You know, and today, Sam Smith was right. He goes, you're only a world champion until you fight a real fight.
Sure, Files TV, joined by Buddy McGirt. Buddy, what a main event that was. What did you make of it?
Hell of a fight. I think the worst thing that happened was that knockdown in the first round. After that, Wardley was just looking for that right hand. No jabs, no defense, no left hook. Sorry, meat and chicken. You know what I mean? But it was a hell of a fight. He showed the heart of a champion, and I think there should be a rematch.
Do you think that created that false sense of like the fight was kind of heading towards Fabio's favour, that first round knockdown then?
When the knockdown happened, I was like, oh shit. But then in the third round, I was like, I don't know. And then once Dubois' jab started landing, I told the guy sitting next to me, it's over.
A lot of comments online complaining about the referee and maybe saying he should have been pulled out. What's your thoughts on that?
Listen, in a fight like that, because you've seen Fabio Wardley pull himself out from the brink of getting beat before, you can understand why Howard Foster didn't want to jump in the way. He gave him every chance he could, took him to the doctor twice, I think, and the doctor said, you know, carry on. But personally, if it was me, I'd have pulled him out a round ago and saved him from that finish. He finished on his feet, but he took far too many shots.
A word on Daniel Dubois' heart. Everyone all this week's been bringing up him quitting and not getting back up, questioning his heart, and he showed a lot tonight.
Well, I think when, you know, he went in against Joyce when he was young, people said he quit. He didn't quit, he had an eye damage. And since then, you've never seen him quit. And it's come back well. It's great to see him get the win after everything he's been through. But at any point, Fabio Wardley could have pulled that shot out of the bag. I mean, he had him down twice in the opening rounds. So, you know, fair play to Dubois. Composed himself, believed in himself, and came through that fight and got the win in the end.
Fabio Wardley may have lost his heavyweight battle with Daniel Dubois, but in the process, he achieved something far more important than just a victory. He earned the respect of fans and pundits alike, and proved that he's one of the most dangerous and relentless fighters in the heavyweight division today. But here's the twist. Many people, including Fabio himself, believe the fight wasn't convincing enough to settle the score. This means one thing: fans are clamoring for a rematch, and Wardley is not backing down. It was chaos inside that ring, pure, unadulterated action. The type of fight that makes fans stand on their feet screaming for more. But the question is, can Fabio Wardley go back in and finish what he started? In today's video, we're breaking down the fight, the drama, the rematch demands, and why many people think Fabio deserves another shot at Daniel Dubois. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss this. When Fabio Wardley stepped into the ring with Daniel Dubois, he wasn't just fighting for a title. He wasn't just fighting for respect. He was fighting to prove something to himself. The British heavyweight division is as competitive as it gets, with fierce rivalries, passionate fan bases, and contenders battling for supremacy. Wardley knew the stakes were high, and despite the mistakes he made in the ring, his heart and courage shone through in a way that couldn't be ignored. While Wardley's boxing may not have been perfect, the heart he displayed was undeniable. After the fight, Fabio admitted that mistakes were made, but it was his determination and relentless pressure that kept him in the fight. It was clear that Daniel Dubois was feeling the heat. Wardley went in there with a plan to dominate. He knew what he was up against, and he wasn't going to back down. Fabio's approach wasn't flawless, but it was driven by the kind of passion and energy that makes for a classic fight. As the rounds wore on, it was clear that Wardley was giving it everything he had, and even though Dubois eventually took control, the pressure never fully let up. That's what made this fight so electric, the constant back and forth, the momentum shifts, and the heart that both men displayed. Even in the face of adversity, Fabio never folded. He never quit. That's the kind of fighter the world respects. The real turning point, though, came after the fight. Fabio demanded a rematch, and it's a demand that fans are fully behind. Why? Because even in the loss, Wardley showed that he could push Dubois to the absolute limit. And now the question is, can he do it again? Can Fabio bring that same aggression and pressure to a rematch and secure a win this time? With the rematch clause in place, many believe that it's not a matter of if, but when. Following the fight, Fabio didn't waste any time. He called for a rematch almost immediately. And who can blame him? The first fight was a wild, chaotic, and dramatic roller coaster from start to finish. Wardley felt that the result wasn't convincing enough. Fans agree. The world saw a battle, not just between two heavyweights, but between two warriors who were willing to risk everything for that victory. And the outcome was far from definitive. Wardley pushed Dubois like few others have done, and many believe that a second fight could be even more intense. Frank Warren, one of the most respected promoters in boxing, confirmed that there is a rematch clause in place, which means there is still a chance for this fight to happen again. For fans, this is the news they've been waiting for. The possibility of another clash between these two heavyweights, both of whom have already left it all in the ring, is mouth-watering. This could be the fight that fans have been waiting for. In the aftermath, many have expressed their excitement for a second fight. Boxing figures like David Adeli and Buddy McGirt are among those praising Wardley's grit and toughness. Adeli believes that Wardley's pressure, which pushed Dubois to his limits, is what makes the rematch so appealing. McGirt, while criticizing Wardley for straying from his boxing fundamentals, still respects his heart and the overall toughness he displayed throughout the contest. That heart is what made the fight so compelling. The demand for a rematch isn't just about who wins or loses. It's about the drama, the action, and the heart that both fighters displayed. Fans are eager to see if Wardley can replicate the same intensity and aggression in a second bout, and if Dubois can adjust and come out on top again. Either way, a rematch promises to be just as thrilling as the first. The aftermath of any fight is always filled with opinions, and the clash between Fabio Wardley and Daniel Dubois was no different. Boxing experts from all over the world weighed in on what went wrong, what went right, and what the future holds for both fighters. Buddy McGirt, a seasoned trainer, pointed out that Fabio Wardley had abandoned his technical approach. He became too fixated on landing that one big power shot instead of sticking to his jab and using his footwork. Fabio was looking for that right hand. No jabs, no defense, no left hook. He was just trying to end the fight with one punch, McGirt said. It's a fair critique. Wardley was clearly hungry for a knockout, but in doing so, he left himself open to clean counters and allowed Dubois to settle into a rhythm. But even with that criticism, McGirt couldn't deny Fabio's toughness. He showed the heart of a champion, McGirt admitted. It's clear that Fabio's heart and determination made an impression, and that's something that can't be taken away from him. Even with his technical flaws, Wardley never gave up. He kept pushing, kept fighting, and refused to quit, even when the odds were stacked against him. Derek Chisora, another veteran of the heavyweight division, took a more direct approach, claiming that Fabio Wardley abandoned the basics. Chisora felt that Wardley relied too heavily on power shots instead of using his jab and movement, which could have helped him control the pace of the fight. But again, the key takeaway here is that even with these missteps, Fabio still pushed Daniel Dubois to one of the hardest fights of his career. That says everything about his fighting spirit. It's often said that boxing is as much a mental battle as it is a physical one, and Daniel Dubois faced that truth head-on during his fight with Fabio Wardley. Despite being the champion, Dubois admitted that he was forced into a mental corner during the fight. He confessed that he felt nervous early on, even needing to be woken up by his corner between rounds. This isn't something you often hear from a heavyweight champion, but it's a testament to the kind of pressure Fabio Wardley was applying. For much of the fight, Dubois found himself on the defensive. Every time he tried to assert his dominance, Wardley was right there, pushing him back, landing heavy punches, and never giving him a moment to breathe. Dubois had to dig deep mentally and physically to regain control, and that's something very few fighters have had to do against him. It wasn't just the punches Fabio was landing that made this fight difficult for Dubois, it was the constant pressure. Wardley kept him on edge, never giving him space to think or breathe. And despite the damage he took, Fabio's aggression never disappeared. He kept forcing Dubois into uncomfortable exchanges, making him question whether he could maintain the pace. That's what makes this fight so significant. Wardley didn't just show physical toughness, he showed mental toughness as well. So where do we go from here? What's next for these two heavyweights? After the fight, Fabio Wardley's stock has only risen. Despite the loss, he's earned immense respect across the boxing world. His heart, his aggression, and his ability to take on one of the toughest challenges in the division have made him a legitimate contender. But for now, it's all about whether the rematch will happen. Frank Warren, the man behind both fighters' careers, admitted that even he didn't expect the fight to be so dramatic. "I said it, don't blink," Warren said. "It was a phenomenal fight. You couldn't have asked for more from both fighters." But despite all the excitement surrounding the fight, the question remains, will we get to see a rematch? Fans are demanding it, experts are pushing for it, and Fabio Wardley himself is calling for it. The boxing world wants more of this action, and there's a real chance that Wardley could go back in and finish what he started. Fans are vocal. The demand for a rematch is deafening, and it's hard to ignore. After such a brutal, chaotic fight, the idea of a second clash between these two heavyweights is too tantalizing to pass up. Fabio Wardley's aggression and heart made the first fight unforgettable, and now people want to see if he can take it to the next level in a rematch. The excitement is palpable, and boxing fans everywhere are hoping that the rematch becomes a reality. One thing is certain, Fabio Wardley and Daniel Dubois are not done. The first fight was just the beginning of what could become one of the most exciting heavyweight rivalries in boxing history. Whether or not we get the rematch is still up in the air, but one thing is for sure, this story is far from over. Will Fabio Wardley get a second shot at Dubois? Only time will tell, but we know one thing. If they do fight again, it's going to be one of the biggest events in boxing.